Assalamualaikum, this is Shawad Zara, and today this video is basically the continuation of my previous video that was dysmenorrhea, and now we will discuss in this video our second type of dysmenorrhea, that is the secondary dysmenorrhea. At the end of the video you will be able to understand or to interpret what is the definition of secondary dysmenorrhea, what is its etiology, and how we will manage a patient of secondary dysmenorrhea. So let's just start our video. First of all, its definition. So I've already explained you the concept of secondary in my previous video, so I hope you know it. Here, what is secondary dysmenorrhea? Dysmenorrhea is painful menstruation that is associated, secondary means some underlying pathology, and it occurs in any time during the patient's reproductive age. Okay, now we're going to discuss its etiology. Now, what is etiology means what are the causes of secondary dysmenorrhea. So the etiology of secondary dysmenorrhea is divided into two major categories. That is congenital, means the patient was having it since her birth, or second are acquired, that she acquires during her life. So talking about congenital, now I have made a mnemonic, or you can say a way to memorize these easily, because cramming them will always lead to difficulties, like I forget all and all that. So starting from, if you look at the organs, we have a vagina down here. If we go inside, then we have a cervix. After it, we have a uterus within it, and around the vagina we have hymen. So in the vagina, if we are having a transvaginal septum, it can cause secondary dysmenorrhea. Of course, hindrance in the menses to occur, so pain will occur. Second is moving on to hymen. If the hymen is imperforate, then we can have, so moving on to cervix. If there is cervical stenosis, mean the cervix is closed, then there will be a very pain for the uterus will have to contract more to release the menstrual period, or hold the blood in the debris. So pain will be present because of cervical stenosis. Then in the uterus, if any rudimentary uterine horn is persistent, then that can be a cause. Now I'll just explain you the treatments along with these causes, so you will easily remember it. If the patient is having imperforate hymen, we go for surgical incision of the hymen. If she has cervical stenosis, we'll go for, of course, dilatation and curettage of this stenosed area. Then if the rudimentary uterine horn is persistent, I will go for surgical excision of that horn. So basically the treatment of secondary dysmenorrhea is completely based on the treating the underlying cause. Now moving on to acquired secondary dysmenorrhea, like the acquired causes. So I have divided this acquired into three major parts. If you consider a uterus, so you have, if suppose this is a uterus, you have some structures which are present within the uterus lumen. Then there is this area of uterine wall, and then is an area outside the uterus. So these are my three classifications within the uterine lumen. Now within the lumen, what can happen? Endometrial polyps may be a cause, or any intrauterine within the uterus contraceptive devices, that can be cause. For that case, we go for, if this is the cause, we call IUCD removal. If polyp, we go for polypectomy. Now the causes that are within the uterine wall. Now in the uterine wall, we have discussed a disease before, adenomyosis, in which the endometrium is separated from the myometrium. So that is a disorder of wall of the uterus, adenomyosis. And second is any fibroid within the endometrium, like that is endometrial fibroid. So in that case, if the fibroid is present, we go for either resection of that part of the myometrium, means myomectomy, or the treatment modality is complete removal of the uterus. If the fibroid is big, hysterectomy. Plus, depending on the state of the patient and her demands, plus her wish, of course. In case of adenomyosis, what we'll do in the previous video, I'll discuss an important drug for adenomyosis, levonorgestrel intrauterine system. So we'll give medical therapy, or if required, we go for hysterectomy. Then, for causes that are present outside the uterus are first of all endometriosis, endometrial tissue outside the uterus. So, if that is present, what we'll do first modality is giving synthetic steroids to that patient. What it will does is that it will reduce the estrogen. As a result, that endometrial tissue will start to endometriotic tissue will start to undergo atrophy and die. So, danazol is an option. Second is if the endometriosis has formed an endometrioma, then we will cause drainage of the endometriomas. We'll do the treatment for surgical removal of the lesion, that is a conservative strategy in surgery, or radical strategy, that is complete removal of the uterus, hysterectomy. Another cause is any pelvic inflammatory disease. In that case, we go for antibiotics, which I have discussed before in my video on PID, ovarian tumors, and pelvic adhesions. So, if pelvic adhesions is the cause, then we'll go for adhesiolysis, that is a surgical procedure in which we remove the adhesions. So, this is all a very short video and a brief on what is secondary dysmenorrhea and its treatment and etiology. I hope you like the video. If you do so, please like, share, and subscribe my channel, and do press the bell icon so that you receive the notifications of my daily videos. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.